Sitting between Bisquick Shake and Pour and Progresso French Onion Soup. It's another episode of In the Aisle with Dan and Jack.
Hello.
Hi, Jack.
Hi.
We have two guests for the first time ever.
Yeah, it's pretty
I
exciting.
thought you were going to be as excited as I was.
I didn't expect. Yeah, we do. I'm excited. I can't wait. They're two great guests, by the way.
Yeah, it's Rachel Wolfson and Mat Edgar. That's right.
Hey guys, thanks for having us.
I was going to give you guys credits, but you're friends, so I don't like giving friends credits.
Well,
it's easier to just say friends. But
Give
I
yeah,
didn't say
give
that.
yourself
yeah,
a
like
credit
can you
real
just
quick.
like
Well, Matt,
you could have tried.
what is it? The storytelling show, right?
Oh, well, there's
Hell
a
yeah.
name to it, but
This is not happening.
oh, boom.
Two great stories, right?
Yeah.
There it is.
How many times did you watch it?
Once after someone told me to.
Okay.
And I don't even
Those are
think it
good
was
numbers.
you who told me
Thank
to
you,
watch
man.
it.
So that's two people.
No, and then Rachel, who is, I would say, the queen cannabis of comedy.
I smoke a lot of weed. That's my greatest
Mhm.
credit.
Right. We've
Yes.
had, we talk about weed a lot on here. Jack's not a stoner at all.
No.
No?
Do you want? Should I just sit this one out? I'll watch. Like,
Have you ever tried smoking weed?
I have. I mean, I'm sober entirely. Like, I don't
Oh,
do
okay.
anything anymore.
Yeah.
So it's if I could wrap my head around moderation, it would be a different story. But that's just not within my grasp.
Totally. Have you ever tried CBD? Do people
I've done I think I have.
do people like once they hear that you don't do alcohol or weed, they're like, "Have you tried CBD?"
Yeah, right. It's
I
a
don't
lot of like
understand
they're like,
why-
no, you just haven't had the right thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think I have.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work for me. It was funny. I was in my acting class yesterday, and
Off to a hilarious start.
yeah, exactly. And we were like, sorry, improv class, even better. And I was
worse.
sitting like we just had to have a conversation in front of everyone. And the girl I was talking to was talking all about how weed is like the greatest thing in the world. And I was like, yeah, I'm sober, so I don't do anything. She's like, oh, if you ever need anything, come to me. I'm like, you're not going to be who I relapse with. You know what I mean?
It's going to be me, buddy.
Yeah,
It's gonna
exactly.
be your pal Dan. So this is the aisle of the floor of the deli in which I worked for the first time. So I guess that's always a good place to start with guests. First jobs ever.
First jobs.
Yeah, who wants to take the lead on
I
this?
also worked in a restaurant as my first job.
My dad would love to hear you giving him this credit as a restaurant.
Well, not a restaurant, but like I worked in the food industry ever since I was a little kid because I grew up in Vegas, which is like hospitality.
Yeah.
seriously.
Number one hospitality place in the world, or one of them. So one of my like first legal jobs was working at a family-owned Greek restaurant called Sultan's Grill. It's still open. It's right around the
Wow.
corner from my house. They have 2 locations now. And yeah, I was just like the cashier.
Yeah.
And then and then also that same summer I worked as a pool attendant at the Venetian Hotel in Las Vegas.
A pool attendant.
Yeah.
How old were you?
What?
I was 15. So like they had pool attendants and lifeguards. So like lifeguards save lives. Well, I provide the towels. So like I legally can't save you, but like here's some SPF.
Yeah,
You could get
exactly.
the guy that
I have
saved.
Not all-
friends- I have
not all
friends who's
heroes.
still lifeguard.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah. One of them, he literally tells girls, I've heard him say it before, that he manages a pool. But he's a lifeguard.
He's
I mean,
a pool manager.
Yeah, I guess that's what he tries to make it sound like adulty, but it sounds so
Sounds
bad.
You should
less
have him on
heroic.
the podcast tell his side of the story.
Yeah, right.
No, never give them their side.
Yeah.
Only take the one. I like that you said that was your first legal job, as if you assume my dad having me work here was ever legal. I was like 12 years old.
You were 12? Yeah. I mean,
when I
like,
first started coming in, yeah. 12.
that makes sense. I mean, I feel like, I don't know what the laws are or whatever, but in Vegas, you had to get a worker's permit, I think, at 15 if you wanted to start. Like,
Yeah,
you
that
had to,
sounds like how it
apply
should have
to
been.
work.
Yeah.
I was
had to
doing
get one of
deliveries
those.
around Manhattan at 12 years old.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny that they have like a more strict code of ethics there than
I'm like,
anywhere
so
else.
is applying for a work permit is work? Like,
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
seems
That's when
a
it's
lot.
that's day one.
Yeah.
You have to just get
Oh,
the
and I
right
also
to work.
remember when I went in, because like this is the first time I ever took a drug test, was when I was 15, because in the hotels they cut your hair. They'll do the hair test. So
Really?
yeah.
They
for
test
that
your
job,
hair?
they cut my hair to test all drugs, because like you can't be intoxicated working at a pool. It's a very serious job.
They cut your hair.
There's
I've
a
never
heavy
heard that
difference.
before.
You never heard
machinery.
of the hair cut-
the
well,
pool.
because
If someone tried
um,
to cut my hair, I would freak out.
yeah, well they cut.
It's
underneath.
receding quick enough.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
So,
it's bad.
but that's how they get out of like people, doing, getting out of the P test or like
Right. Wouldn't that be great if you did it wearing like a wig? And then, like, when they cut it, they clearly saw your real hair.
Well, that's why they
underneath.
said. Remember
She's not
when-
even human.
Remember when Britney Spears shaved her
She has
head?
cancer.
Yeah.
That they said that's why she shaved her head, was because she was getting those drug tests for all the
And now we
things that
found
she
out
was
it's
on.
because her dad holds her captive.
Exactly, and she wanted a job at
Did you know that Britney Spears? I don't want to get into the whole
No,
conspiracy.
have you heard that?
I'm
The
very
conspiracy?
involved
Is that what you just
Yeah,
said?
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
this thing held captive.
and Richard Simmons, right?
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him, but Britney Spears is the one that's here. Her father apparently keeps her. I have no information on this, so I don't know why I'm bringing it up.
Her
'Cause there will
father
be no
has
solution.
like control over her finances, and so he's holding her captive, basically.
Ooh.
And that's another podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there is probably a podcast about it.
There is. It's
She should make an
comedians
album
have it.
about it.
She
If
should
she's
do.
allowed.
Well, she's actually going to do a one-man show one woman show about it, and then it's going to be sold to Netflix.
Ooh.
Really?
No.
Oh my
That'd
god,
be-
sounds like
that'd be
really
something
about
that's
it.
the
plausible
comeback?
now.
I hope it does happen.
Wait, so when you got tested, were you smoking at that point?
No.
No. How old were you when you started?
19.
19. Fair.
Yeah.
What got you into it?
Well, I think I was a guy I was dating at the time smoked a lot of weed,
Yeah.
and he seemed to like it, and then all of my friends seemed to like it. Like even growing up in high school, both of my closest girlfriends were big stoners, and I just
How about parents, stoners?
my
Wait, they can't be, right? Your parents are like
no. My parents don't.
professional people.
Yeah, they don't partake in the consumption, but yeah, I started when I was 19 because everyone around me was doing it, and also I was like, why not?
Peer pressure
right.
is real.
Yeah.
What was your first job, Matt?
My first job was Baskin Robbins. 31 flavors. Yeah,
Wow.
bitches.
How old
I
were
was
you?
serving the cream. The fucking family hookup, dude. My buddy Jason would come in every shift and he'd get a mint chocolate chip shake on me.
Which
On the
number
house.
flavor was that? That's like 24,
Ugh.
25.
You know what?
maybe,
They
right?
never numbered them, and
I
you know
love a good
there's
mint
way
chip.
more than 31. And there's
Right.
always a new one. There's always a new movie that had
Right.
a ice cream.
Yeah.
You know,
Were you working at Baskin Robbins when Cold Stone came out, and you were like, guys, settle
guys,
down?
we're done.
Wow.
That's a lot of
Pulled out
extra
all
work.
your
Like, yeah,
shares,
yeah.
the
Everybody
everything they
pull,
gave you.
pull.
We had a Baskin Robbins in my town that I didn't know went out of business until I ordered DoorDash, and then the DoorDash guy called me and said, "Hey, I went to pick up your order and it's closed."
Yeah.
Damn.
It's a
Damn.
nail
I
salon
I said,
now.
"Oh, like for little." He goes, "No, there's a sign that says no longer open."
Wow. I just heard the first the last blockbuster.
Blockbuster sounds
like
Blockbuster
a
is closing.
acne
like the last
pill.
last
How
That's
did
one.
it
why they went
last?
out of-
I mean, how did it last this long?
Yeah.
Where,
you're right.
where was it?
It was in
Some like middle of the middle of the country place probably.
So-
There was one more left and they just closed it. like,
Was I
last
thought it was
week.
in like California.
Is it?
I might be wrong.
They
though.
hung in there, huh?
I don't know.
I mean, I would whoever's going to that Blockbuster, that should be like
Yeah.
quarantined. Like,
Yeah.
why are
Well,
they
you know,
going there?
do
That
you
this
remem-
should be studied.
I remember before
They should.
Netflix was an option like on like you remember when it used to be you would order and they would bring the movie to you. That
Yeah.
was when a lot of people didn't have it,
Yeah.
and Blockbuster had a chance to buy them, and they were like, "This will never be anything," and they
No
didn't buy
way.
Yep.
it, and then
Yep.
they went out of business.
that's fucked up.
Yep.
Wow, they were like, "Where are they going to sell overpriced candy?"
Yeah, exactly.
All of
They
these
will
like
never make
brands
it.
from our childhood though are going away. Like that's something that only our generation will understand is like Blockbuster. We had a local video store called Video Time.
Local video stores I maintain were some of the best places.
So dope.
Highly
Yeah.
illegal. There was one in our town where the guy still reaches out to me. He's like, "I really remember you," which is weird because they closed when I was 12.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my
he really
God.
remembers 8 to 12-year-old me.
Yeah.
Which now that I'm saying out loud, I'm like, "Oh, there's something else there." But he ran a great movie store. He always
There's
had
not.
them
Show
while
me
they were in the
one
movies.
pure video store.
There is a
Wait, what?
One pure video. They're all shade.
Yeah, there's shadiness.
The
Especially
last
around
time I
not
went to a video store was when I was 19, the same time that I started smoking weed. It's in Vermont. It still might be open. I don't know if they exist, but it's in I forget. I think
Oh, we're
it's in
going.
Brattleboro, Vermont. So I don't know if it's still open, but they
we're
were
gonna
like
go
a-
and we're gonna buy a
locally
video.
Owned video store.
I
Yeah.
feel like our generation will look at blockbusters the way the one before us looked at drive-in movie theaters.
Wow, but those
Oh,
are
yeah.
still
Tell us about
cool,
it.
Just these
though.
relics.
Yeah, it's just like this relic of. I've never been. Have you ever been to a drive-in movie theater?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
Man,
they're dope. They still exist. They still have them.
there's 2 in New Jersey. It's probably some of the coolest things we have.
That is pretty.
That's
cool.
where I'm from, New
Yeah.
Jersey.
Yeah.
That's not your
The
fault.
last one was the one that
It's my
Twister. They were playing Twister and Twister showed up. You hear about that one?
No.
Oh yeah.
What was this?
In
You know the movie Twister?
Yeah.
Same Twister from the movie.
Same Twister.
Same one.
Made an appearance.
Yeah.
It was the big comeback.
Hey everybody.
And what it like it actually
get your
wiped the whole-
cameras ready. I'm gonna fuck everything
Did
up.
it actually that happen and it wiped the thing?
That's
out?
what it said for a long time. Like that was a story I heard when I was a kid about drive-in theaters and when that movie came out. And I have yet to go back to see if it ever really happened.
Wow.
But
There used to be a Twister
that's what
ride
I think about
in,
every time
theme
I think
park.
about driving movie theaters.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah,
You ever
right.
remember Universal Studios
allow
Orlando
tornadoes
had
in
Twister
there.
the ride?
Yeah.
You would literally just stand on a platform. They would show a fake hurricane Twister, and then the platform would shake, and you'd be like, "Wow,
Yeah.
we did it."
I would have loved
Really
that.
chased
I
the
would have
storm.
loved that. I
But
would have
now
loved
climate
that.
change is a real thing, and we're like, we're not going to make fun of natural
Yeah, right.
disasters.
I do have a
like this
positive memory
anymore.
from that ride, though. The gift shop sold a Twister milkshake. No, not a chocolate milk thing where you put in your milk and the chocolate syrup, and you press the cow's face, and it swirled it for you.
Oh my God, the cows!
Ooh.
Remember? in the
Yeah, the
movie?
cow
That's how
went
they
into
get
the
ya.
thing. Yeah, that was the big movie. That
Yeah.
was the big shot.
That
of
was
the
like
movie.
the
That's what
biggest-
you put
yeah,
in
the
the commercial
scandal.
to go
Yeah.
like, okay, I'll.
Yeah.
I'll go
They
see
got
this
And now
cows
PETA
flying.
wouldn't
Yeah.
allow
I'm
that.
in. Say no more.
PETA
I'm a
doesn't
big
allow.
Wizard of
Yeah,
Oz
you're
guy.
right. That was like a huge thing.
Yeah. Oh, PETA got mad at that?
No,
I
but
talked
I mean,
to
like
PETA
that was
last
like
week.
really.
Yeah, because
About what?
I made a joke about how when we were younger, I used to remember those animal cracker boxes.
Yeah.
And it was so sad because even those animals were behind bars. And I was like,
Yeah.
even the cookies were in captivity. And then they tweeted at me that they actually they went to court against them and had them change the box. The box now has the animals roaming free. It's them on like a green pasture with the sun behind
Oh
them.
my God,
I was
you're
so
so
what
right.
PETA actually gets done.
That's what it
Well,
is.
you know what's
They're
funny?
fighting
Yeah.
the animal cracker business.
It's like the only thing that's
cracker.
it's the only thing that's like fighting for good that
But people
consistently
hate it.
that everyone shits on them. Even people like
Yeah.
other people who were like
Yeah.
activists are like, shut up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they had I forget what it was. They like came after someone for well, it's always funny when they're like animal activists, but they don't really do their research. Because I think it was like someone had shaved a sheep and they were like, this is inhumane. And it's like, well, no, you have to do that or they'll choke on their own fur.
Yeah.
And
They're
then
actually
they
harming
find out that they're
Uh.
wrong, and then they don't do anything about it.
Yeah. Well, I made a bacon joke on Instagram once, and that was about the worst harassment I've ever seen from a group of people.
What
was
was
it,
the
PETA?
joke?
Were like the PETA vegans.
The Pegans? What'd they say?
Dude, they started posting like links to
You
that
get a
was a
high
high
five for
five for the pegans. Yeah. They started posting like baby pig.
Oh,
Can I help
thank
you?
thank
Find
you.
something, sir?
do you want anything?
I like your
We have
beard
crushed
too.
tomatoes.
I've
We've got 7
I've
kinds of
never had
ramen.
a podcast
Yeah.
out for a beard.
Would you
compliment.
like a
I love
camera?
Yeah, these aren't even ours.
Yeah.
it. Wait, what was the joke? I'm sorry.
Oh, I
was
don't
ge-
even
I was just
remember.
I was just sitting in that beard.
You know, I went to a PETA event one time
Really?
did?
at the at the
the
Palladium.
Burlington Coat Factory.
The Palladium on
Oh, that was a
Sunset.
good one.
I
No one
like
gave
that.
that anything.
Don't.
I
you
saw.
went to
I
a
went
PETA
and
event?
yeah, because well, first of all, my girlfriend at the time.
Take care, man.
See you later, man. You know him?
Nope.
Kidding. I know you don't know.
I know. I thought
Um,
maybe. Who knows?
We thought he was your friend.
Oh, hold on, I'll be done. Let me just wrap this
Keep the
thing up.
car
and then-
That's the ride.
I'm telling the PETA story again. So
He's like, I've heard it a
you
million
know how
times.
long I'm at the beginning. So think like, I had a girlfriend at the time that worked for Live Nation.
Okay.
So we used to go to all sorts of dope shit. Well, one night we didn't have anything to do. One Saturday night, didn't have anything to do, and she says a PETA event, and I was like, nah. She's like, you know that singer Bryan Adams? Well,
course.
he's playing, and I'm like, well, let's
Is
go
he Summer of
support.
'69?
He is.
Yep. So I went to go support Bryan Adams.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know
One
what's
of-
funny is that to me means that like it was Live Nation, like they had a lot of funds, I'm sure, but he's the only one whose catalog and discography probably didn't mention me. You know,
No, not at all. He played one song, which I thought was a huge ripoff.
Yeah.
right?
This thing
Was
that
it
was
Summer
like,
of '69?
no, he played.
Heaven?
That was a bad year for vegans.
It might have been Heaven.
Yeah.
Fuck, it was a ballad though.
That's
It was
a
one of the
banger.
famous ballads, and it was
All-
like
to
people
all the
cry-
animals out there.
and they played a video behind it, and people cried, and it was like, you'll never get this much of a reaction off this song again.
Yeah.
One of the great videos online is there was a period. I love Pavarotti. I love getting stoned
Wow.
and listen to Pavarotti.
You
What's
mentioned him on
Pavarotti?
stage the
He's
other
an
night.
opera
I mentioned him on stage the
singer.
other night, opera singer, like one of the most legendary ones. But he went through a phase where he would bring pop singers to do shows and would sing songs with them.
Oh yeah.
There's a video online of him and Bryan Adams singing Summer of '69 together, and Pavarotti singing that. But the worst one is he does "We Are the World,"
Oh,
but he
no.
doesn't realize how quick the chorus is.
Yeah.
So everyone hits it, and then all you hear is him in the back going, He can't get it, but he's still trying to opera in the back.
Your
And
comfort
opera-
in this grocery store, amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
Unparalleled.
It's just it's you'll
Unparalleled.
never. You're in your home turf
Yeah,
right
well,
now.
because
glad
what is
you-
someone going to say? And I'm going to be like, do you know who my father is?
Yeah, yeah.
This is the only time I can ever do that. That
My
doesn't
father
matter anywhere.
is Mr. West Bank Deli. Thank you
Yeah.
very
Wow.
much.
Thank you. I am part of the gourmets.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, this is West Bank Gourmet. I forgot to mention the name. Shit.
You
He just opens up a box of noodles,
And
starts
starts
eating
eating
it.
it.
I sold someone
And
noodles
puts
in
it
the
back.
pod last time.
Hey, can
The
you toss?
Nutella.
Can you grab me the? Yeah.
puts it back on, slides it in the back.
Hey,
Yeah,
you gave me the Nutella. Thank
It's
you.
not the most.
Right by your shoulder.
As a
Thank
stoner,
you.
having a father who owns a deli is almost too good.
Oh man, this is.
You
Yeah,
literally
you
just sit
really
in
lucked
between
out.
enticement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I didn't luck out. I
Have
was
you tried
350 pounds
everything?
for a lot of my life?
Well, yeah.
I grew up on bread and cold cuts. I wasn't that
Oh,
lucky.
man.
I mean, it sounds good in hindsight, but
I get that. I mean, I feel like as a generation we weren't taught to eat healthy though. You know?
Well, no, their generation was.
Yeah,
we're a
I
little bit
think
older.
mine.
than
That's
them.
really funny.
I'm
to me
10
that
years
we're
older than
technically
them.
not the same
Are
generation.
you guys millennials?
yes.
Yeah, big
Yeah, but
We're
we're
still
right on the
millennials,
cusp.
though.
Yeah,
We're
but
like-
we're at
millennials.
the at the end.
You guys are millennials, and we are whatever's convenient.
You
for,
are
like,
younger
We
I-
remember
millennials.
like arcades and stuff and like
I don't
the end of
remember
it.
arcades.
Not
Yeah,
like
but
that.
no, you
What
Not
the
guys
like
fuck?
that.
Millennial, not an idiot.
But yeah, I'm
As
like, what the fuck is
millennials,
that?
as a
I'm still a
group-
nerd.
As millennials, as a group, I mean, I feel like we are like the Taco Bell, like the fast food generation.
Yeah.
You know?
Like now,
Yeah.
I would never let my kids eat. I mean, I would let them eat every
Dude,
now and then, but
corn
I wouldn't
syrup.
feed them dinner every night like
snacks.
I'm gonna
McDonald's.
feed my
Right.
kid McDonald's while he's playing football.
Well, that's what happened to my
Helmetless,
sister.
no
Neither.
helmet.
No,
I'm
my
gonna get my
sister-
boy into MMA.
My sister was a
Hell yeah.
gymnast, and she would like eat after she was like a serious gymnast, and after her training, she would go to fucking McDonald's.
Yeah.
and beef them up.
Hell yeah.
That used to be the thing. It was like, all right, good job, honey. Do you want to go to McDonald's? Now it's like midnight, and I'm like, I walk into a Wendy's, and I'm like, if anyone sees me here, I'm gonna pretend I'm
Yeah.
just here for the bathroom.
It's the
Yeah.
walk of shame.
My dad wanted me to lose weight when I was in 8th grade, so he made me join the cross country team. And the only reason I did it was because my mother pulled me aside and said after every practice she'll take me to get soft serve ice cream.
Aw.
I was the only one who got slower
That's what
over
I'm
the
saying.
course of the season.
Our parents
I
would
never
bribe
got
us
better.
with dessert.
Yeah.
Like that's not a thing that was like, you know what I mean?
I'm gonna
like,
be a
my
That's
better
only
parents
going to
parent.
did.
I'd be
become more and more taboo. I think you'll see that people are gonna like. You'll read an article like within the next 5
It's
years.
the new beating your kids.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get my kids stoned. I think.
Yeah.
That's how I'm gonna. Like you've been good. I'll give you. You go to cross country practice. There's a pack of pre rolls waiting for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
It's
I
an
mean, I'm
edible
not
at
advised
the,
against
an
that.
edible at the finish line.
Oh my! If you finish this 5K,
Do you run? Do either of you run stone like when you work out?
Yes, every
Yeah, we
time.
smoke
Yep.
before.
I smoke. It's been my new thing recently. It is so much better.
well, I really feel
Yeah.
like I can hyper focus on the thing that I'm doing.
Which is
Really?
listening to music.
Yeah.
I'm running. It's just like you have music and you're high, and then in a half an hour you're gonna forget that you just ran.
Oh yeah. And then until the high wears off and you stand up and you're like, there it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I ran
did
this
it.
morning. Yeah.
And to be fair, like I love the way I feel when I smoke, but like there's nothing that makes me feel better that high after I work out.
yeah.
Like
I,
that high is not achievable through weed to me.
I work out in my parents' garage because I live with them. So I open up the
You have
door.
a full gym.
Yeah. I
But
got
you know
a
what
nice
I
little
feel
got a
like?
setup.
setup.
They
You got a
should make
good
a
setup.
meme of like all the great things that have been made through garages, like Apple, Microsoft,
Abs.
Body by Dan.
Target, and then
Dan's weight
Bombs.
loss. I have like an
Podcast.
podcast.
bands.
Yeah, this is low on the list of good things made in the garage.
This is the best thing made in a grocery store.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, how many podcasts are actually in delis?
Dude, this is my favorite podcast ever.
I can't
I
wait
love that.
till
I've never
That's all
spilled
we
in
needed.
a
by the way.
podcast.
We can all leave now. That's the soundbite we want.
I've been this whole time. I've been sitting here, and I spilled some coffee before it started. I
Yeah.
told
that's
you.
why they have the caution.
You were
lights
honest.
sign.
Yeah, I was honest. I came up front with it, but it's only built, and I've spilled
You
more.
spilled
and it's
more,
like
yeah.
it's become a mess. But I've never spilled in a grocery store before or on a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I'm
you
happy
did
we
it
could
at
do
the
that
same
for
So,
time.
like-
We- two birds.
I think history's being made here.
Yeah,
Hey,
the one
happy
day
we
this will
could
be
do that.
written.
I hope I never spill in another podcast again. Also, I hope I never spill in another grocery store.
Yeah, he's
again.
like, also, I hope I never have to do another podcast. That's
Yeah,
the
we
real one.
both figured that we're a lot of people's first time guest.
Yeah,
sources for
yeah, you're working
podcasts,
out the
and we're
kinks
very
right now.
flattered.
You
We're
know,
the work out the kinks guest.
Yeah.
Well,
Appreciate
this was
it.
And you're
all-
welcome.
This was, this was. I didn't know we were tandeming it, and we decided like a half hour
You're right.
before. Let's
I
go
dropped
in.
this in. This
Yeah.
is my
And we
my
rolled.
doing.
I'm fine with
I
it.
love
We saw Matt and we're like, you're wearing plaid too? Nice.
Yeah.
We gotta have
Me
it
and
on
Matt did
camera.
a show
I like-
together.
Shoot.
Oh
We're gonna
shit!
look at
Well-
that. We plan to go to grocery shopping together in our plaids.
Wow,
She
if
dressed-
only you had like an airbrushed hat.
we
on.
dress each
Yeah.
other. I like how you soundproof the wall with SpaghettiOs.
Yeah, you have no idea
Yeah,
how
that's
good a
very-
The
podcast
noise gets
sounds.
caught in the coils.
It's very
of the
progressive
spaghetti.
of you. Is that
Podcasting. yeah,
It's very progresso of you.
everyone knows garden
You
vegetable.
gotta- it literally says progresso.
Have
That's
you
why
never
you're the
seen
funniest
Progresso?
person. I know, babe.
Wait, yeah, you've never seen Progresso before?
No, it's
No.
funny, but she just said it's very progresso of you.
Oh,
Do you understand how funny? Did you see how quick that was? You didn't even see it. That was samurai.
It's all good.
I thought this guy was about to rob you of your camera.
I'm
That
still
would honestly
coming
be-
to terms that this Angus beef is not refrigerated. And to be fair, it's black Angus beef.
Yeah.
Yeah, black
I'm really
Angus
glad
beef.
you guys are into the diversity.
It
Wait,
looks
how
like it
funny
helps
would
out
that
with
be?
boners.
This,
Oh, I'm
this
sorry,
might
man.
be the most susceptible I ever
I
am
thought-
to being robbed.
Thought
in
you were
New York
grabbing the
City.
fettuccine
Yeah.
Alfredo.
With my back open. This
Right?
is the
Your
that
wallet
would be
just
a
hanging
great
out.
podcast episode. Someone literally just comes in and robs me,
That's
and
what.
that's it.
That's
why
Episode's
you can have
over,
your
man.
back.
That's worth the views.
What you lose in actual
You
property,
gain
you
in
gain in followers.
Social media traction.
What was your worst firing? This is my podcast now.
My worst firing?
Yeah. Have you been fired?
No, but it was trying to work at this deli again, and my dad saying no.
Oh, did your dad fire you?
No, he just never brought me back.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
went to work at one of his other businesses, which I hated and quit. And then
What
I
other
just,
business job was that? What
he
realm?
he also owns a dry cleaning business in the city. It sucks because he just has the little store in the people's apartment, and then the rich people bring down their clothes, and you send it out for them. It's like I remember like the guy who owned Modell's, his son would like bring down his boxers, and I'd be like, I'm touching this guy's underwear. This isn't my
Yeah.
life.
This sucks.
Dry
Yeah.
Touching
cleaning.
gotta go to Moe's like right near his nuts.
So your dad owns a laundromat, you said?
No, just a dry
Dry
cleaning.
cleaner.
Dry
service in
cleaner, that's
buildings.
nicer.
And package rooms. He like facilitates package rooms.
Wow.
Yeah, I worked in one.
Your dad has hands all over the city.
Yeah, and they're all not that enjoyable. I literally worked in one of the package rooms. He said, if you don't know where they go, just stockpile them high. So I did that, and then I went to close the store, and no joke, they all fell on me like in a movie. And then I was just trapped under boxes, had to work my way out.
No
and
way.
I ended up keeping the store open an extra 2 hours to clean it. And then I think I quit like very shortly
when did
after.
you start smoking weed?
I smoked for the first time when I was 14 or 15.
And your parents were cool with it?
No, I was arrested when I was 16 for selling weed.
Oh.
They were not cool with that. Or
Oh.
17. Yeah, got in a good amount of trouble. I had to get a lawyer.
They're like,
ended up
looks like Dan's gonna be with us at the sandwich shop.
I lucked out on that one
Yeah.
because the kid who I got arrested with,
The
his
garage
dad,
ready for him.
his dad was a police chief, like a few
Oh,
towns
shoot.
over. So the cops actually didn't read me my Miranda rights, so I got out of a lot of trouble.
They're
with
like,
that.
we
Wow.
want to
Yep.
still be able to
They were
eat.
so busy
Oh.
on their power trip, they broke my cell phone and stuff. And they just forgot to read the Miranda rights.
Yes.
So we got out of that one.
I've had experiences where cops pull me over and they've been nice, and I've had them where they've been shitty.
Yeah.
Like I got pulled over one time. Me and my friend were driving and we were smoking cigarettes, and I flicked it, and then this cop started following me, and I was like, he thinks we were smoking weed, which we weren't. And he like pulls me over and he's like checking. He's got his flashlight in the back seat of the car, and he just won't tell me what he's doing. And I was like, officer, can I ask you something? Did you think we were smoking weed? And he was like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, it was cigarettes. I'll show you the pack. And I showed him the pack of cigarettes, and he wasn't okay with being wrong.
Yeah.
So he looks at my car and he's just like, your car's kind of messed up. You should get a new one. And then leaves. And I was like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, yeah.
That was-
I was hoping he'd like take his stick out and hit your light and like, shatter it. Like how badass would that be?
Shattered the leg.
Something's wrong with your light.
yeah, I was like, what? What is that? He's just
They
like,
broke my phone on purpose because there was a period of time in the mall by my house you could pay like $125 and they'd take off your iPhone screen and put like a really nice fancy one on there. So I got this red one done, and then I got arrested with the weed in the car. And when we got to the police station, I got out of the car, and I guess maybe I wasn't the nicest person. I don't remember. And he took my iPhone and he put it between like the door of the car and just slammed the car door and shattered the screen.
nice.
Oh.
And then I said, are you going to pay for that? He goes, I'm the police. I don't have to. And then I was like, well, you're not the
Wow.
whole police, man.
Yeah,
I feel like
you're
you
just
guys got
some of
some
it."
money around there. And that was my last time getting arrested. There was
Damn.
That's his firing story.
Do
by
they
the way.
care about weed here as much. Like,
In New York.
They used to.
They used to,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, in Jersey, they still do, yeah. I live next to a cop, and it always worries me, but he illegally has chickens in the yard. You're not allowed to have chickens in New Jersey, and he has a whole coop of them. So I feel like that's just, we go back and forth, you know?
yeah, if you're gonna give me
You
shit
rat me
about
out.
weed, I'm gonna tell on you and those chicks.
Yeah. I'm going to get, yeah.
I'm gonna tell your wife about the
officer.
chicks.
Yeah, exactly. Wouldn't that be great? She doesn't know somehow. They're like
Side
very
chicks.
out. What's that
The
noise?
yard chicks.
He's one of these dudes, my neighbor. He his name starts with a K, and he named every one of his children and their pets
No.
with names that start with
Nice.
a K.
It's Kardashian.
Yeah.
Is that I don't know anything about pop culture. Is that something they partake in?
Yeah, every kid's got right. All of them do.
Every kid begins with K.
My dad was going to name me Chisel, and my uncle was going
What?
to name his son Hammer. They wanted us to be Hammer and
No,
Chisel.
wait. Well, my
Damn.
dad pranked my grandmother and told her that they were gonna name me Dirk.
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 Wow.
Dirk.
Yeah,
That would have been kind of cool.
I know.
And somehow you still ended up wearing
I
flannel.
know. I'm still.
Dirk
I
loves
still had a
flannel.
mullet.
You really
so-
are.
My-
Yeah, you're Dirk at heart.
I
I mean,
am.
that's.
That's
Like,
that would
still
be a
gave me
huge
the Dirk
fuck up
haircut.
though.
I literally had.
I only
had
know
a
Joe
mullet.
Dirk.
I was Joe Dirk.
Joe Dirk. Wow.
And my grandmother
I,
cried.
do you know, I only know Dirk Nowitzki, and then the basketball player, and then Dirks Bentley, I think, is a country singer.
I didn't even know that.
I went through a country phase
Yeah.
at a point in my life.
Me too.
unfortunately.
I could see that.
Yeah,
For
I
like
don't know
half
why.
a year. It was only a thing that happened on tour.
I'm
It was
glad
on
you
the
guys
road.
left that out.
But out, off the road, no country.
Matt,
No
where are you
country?
from? Where are you from originally?
Long Beach, California.
Okay.
Hey, that's
Okay.
where we did a show together, I think.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we saw
Old
each
man,
other at Old Man Hustle.
Old Man Hustle. That was fun,
Sick.
dude.
Things
Well,
happen.
and so are you living here full time now?
Well, until I've been here since 9/11. Flew
forget.
in.
Respect.
The most
Never
recent.
forget.
Got a
Yeah.
laugh out of me. Right down the street. You know, you're literally where it happened.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
close to
Well, ground zero, right?
Yeah.
where
I'm not allowed to say that out loud.
This is the ground zero of the podcast, too.
That would be a great name.
That would be a great
think it-
podcast.
I think
You
it's
go
fun.
interview people
So-
at ground
I mean,
zero.
they do have a gift shop there. Are they that far away from having a podcast studio?
No, they aren't.
Damn,
I
they
mean,
found
there's
a way
mall
to
there.
profit off this.
Oh, you
That
didn't know
gift
that?
shop
Yeah, they have a
has a
gift shop.
son that is just learning how to walk right now. And he's growing up with podcasts.
Yeah, it's really dark to have
He's
a
gonna start a
to have
podcast.
gift
Yeah,
shop there.
like here, enjoy these stuffed towers. Right?
That's one of the great jokes in Big Mouth. If you-
No.
Oh, in one of the Big Mouth episodes, the girl gets her period on the trip. and
Oh,
all
that's
she,
the only episode I've ever
and
seen.
all she has to put around her waist is a never forget towel. Classic
Oh my
Mulaney
God.
and Kroll writing.
So you came in on 9/11. That feels like it was on purpose. Feels like you had an option
you know
for
what?
9/10
It
or
started
9/12.
off as a joke for
What is
real.
the cheapest day to fly?
Yeah.
So it started off as a joke in like April. I knew I was gonna move here, and
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna have one last summer in LA, and then I'm gonna fly out here like 9/11. Like
Yeah.
I thought just that'd be the perfect date, but I never
Literally
really
coming
meant
in like
it.
a wrecking ball.
Yeah, I had. It was like way over
That
the
was
top,
dark
coming in hot.
shit.
I used to say that all the time,
Yeah.
like coming in hot, like a 9/11.
It's a good term, regardless. Coming
Yeah.
out.
Anyways,
He did it for the bits.
Anyways, as I got closer, Rachel scared me because I mentioned it to her, and she was like,
well,
no-
like he says, I think I'm gonna book a flight on 9/11, and I'm like, okay, is anyone else gonna acknowledge that that's like, to me, not a great day to fly?
That's
like,
where you
That's a
also
really
text.
weird-
Like
That's
I
where,
know it's the financial sound decision, but
Right.
like,
that's where you text back, babe. Also, text me that you're buying a return flight for documentation.
yeah, like
I don't like just this text on my phone.
yeah. So
her concern triggered something inside of me, and I was like, oh fuck.
That's a
okay,
weird.
then I was
that's
like,
a,
lightning
am I
doesn't
doing?
strike twice.
Well, here's the actual thought. Like,
Terrorist too.
I was with an actor friend when I was talking to him about moving out here, like when I'd move out here.
Yeah.
And we were here in the city, and when I said 9/11, like, dude, I've always been so scared. First of all, when 9/11 happened, I was a sophomore in high school, and I was like, I'm never gonna fly again. And then of course you get past that, and I was
Right,
like, I'm never
yeah.
gonna fly to New York. And then I became a comedian, and you fly to New
Yeah.
York.
Right.
But then I was like, I'll never fly to New York on 9/11. And I was like, it was just
There's
when
no
she
more bridges to
reacted.
cross.
When she reacted, it was like very real. But before that, I was with a friend and I said that, and he was like, "My acting coach tells me to follow the fear. Follow the fear."
Follow the fear.
So when he said that, then I was like, "All right, I'm gonna go." It was so far before I'd fly out that I was like, "I'll just say that like follow the fear. Like
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing. But when she showed any fear, I was like, nope, I'm out.
Yep.
Yeah, you
Not
did the opposite. You ran away from it.
I was like,
What
not
about 9/12?
9/12. So it was gonna be 9/12, and then I booked dates in Atlantic City 9/12, and the only way to make that work was flying to New York on 9/11. I had to.
Yeah.
So
So
it worked out that way randomly.
yeah.
But
I mean,
it
they
started
probably
off as
have
a
like
joke.
probably have the highest amount of security. on
Atlantic
that
City,
day.
they still haven't recovered from 9/11.
By the way, by the
Damage is
way,
still there.
You look like you're like, no, they have not.
They
No,
don't-
I feel yeah.
on 9/11, okay, you'd think higher security. I've never in a flight in my life been on the plane in the air where the cockpit door is open.
And that was
That
the day that happened.
On 9/11, I'm
Was it
looking down.
Frontier
I'm like
Airlines?
looking at the front of the sky.
Yeah.
Like
But
I've
you
never
didn't
seen this
see-
perspective.
Was it Frontier Airlines?
I can't tell if that's a joke or not.
No,
but
I'm genuinely asking. Was it
no.
Frontier?
Oh, no,
'Cause
no, no.
They have the
For
worst
some-
planes.
Okay, no. It was Spirit. What you think I'm? Just because I'm sitting here at the fucking on the floor of a grocery store,
Because we're
flying
Canadians.
Spirits.
Yeah.
Because we're Canadians.
JetBlue.
Oh, look at
Okay,
him
baby.
go.
Hell yeah.
Purple chips. They
I
saw
almost don't
purple
even know if
chips.
that's-
No, they got rid of the snacks.
all
Did they?
snacks.
Wait,
What
hold
a
on,
weird
man.
way to cut
No, I
corners.
think they still
Was
have
it JetBlue?
I'm a Delta man now, but I
He's-
dabbled in Frontier
Matt's-
for a while.
Oh, it might have been Delta because it's only been those two.
Matt's
Yeah.
like, you know what? I thought it was Spirit. It was Spirit
You know,
after all.
True
Never
story,
flown.
Frontier
Wait, I have flown
Airlines-
Spirit
Neither.
once.
I don't think I have.
Frontier
I don't
Airlines
remember
names all of their planes after animals. None of them can fly. That is
Wow.
a true fact about Frontier Airlines. I flew on the
That's-
chocolate moose one time.
The chocolate mousse.
Yep. They use a pun as the name of their plane, and it then has a moose on the side.
The
kinda cute,
Is
though.
is the plane brown?
Nope. Still green. Then just has a
I
moose
flew
on
in the Shamu Southwest plane.
it. That's why you got a good deal.
I was in the eye looking out.
SeaWorld
That's where
Air.
I sat.
Do you think that was a setup? Maybe they had like a martial artist standing behind the door waiting for someone to go up there.
That's fucked up. Did you
Oh,
feel
I mean,
unsafe?
It was. I felt like okay, it's open because they're getting something. Like the stewardess is entering or whatever, giving them a drink or whatever.
No, someone's about to quit.
What a weird. Quit
Did you hear?
midair.
Did you hear? Remember we were talking about there. Did you ever see that guy? That article about the guy who worked for like I forget which company.
He worked
was
for
at-
Alaskan Airlines and stole the plane
Some-
and killed himself.
No,
he,
no.
He quit his
Damn, 'cause
job.
dude's my
That was
hero.
awesome.
Like literally got on the microphone and was like, "Fuck you guys, I quit," and then like did the emergency
Yeah,
exit.
it was on the
slide
ground.
What?
I mean, it
as
was.
his exit.
This was a few years ago. It was on the news. Like he was like, he gets on the microphone and does the whole "fuck you, fuck you." He just it's all there, and then at the
Epic,
end,
yeah.
like I'm out, drops the mic, pulls the lever,
Didn't he get in
slides
trouble for
out.
that?
Yeah,
Fined, yeah.
federal,
That's a really big fine.
federally. Like it's
Yeah.
like not even like,
Yeah.
it's like eating mushrooms and like getting it's like class 1
I'm
capture.
glad
It's not
you
like
knew the
weed.
guy I was talking about, though, because that dude, he was an employee for Alaska Airlines, decided he wanted to kill himself, waits till everyone's off the plane, steals the plane, has never flown before, takes it up. They're on the thing, like, how'd you take it up? He goes, I play video games. And then, like, the actual recording is sad of it because he ends up crashing the plane and dying.
Yeah.
But, like, that's how
But
he
as
went
he's
out.
talking on it, he's just a dude that's like, "Fuck it, man. No, I
Yeah.
don't know how to land plane. I don't even know how to fly
Yeah, he
planes."
sounded
Yeah.
just so relaxed. He's like, yeah, I don't know how to land
And
them, I
you're
don't know
just
how to
getting the
take 'em
news
off.
as like all these multiple cameras
Crashed the plane.
Yeah,
Yeah,
on
he's
an
super
island.
dead now.
On an island.
How many people passed?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot that he actually took the plane away from people and was able to injure nobody with it.
Yeah.
Like just a
It
guy
was
who
just
wanted
he was
to kill-
going. He was
just a
like,
cool
"Fuck
dude.
it."
He
Just like we
wanted
were
to
talking
fly.
before the podcast about people jumping. Is
Yeah.
when Wall Street's like people
Yeah.
that
Just
jump
kidding.
to their
This is
deaths.
the uplifting part of the podcast.
Like-
Oh yeah.
like,
to
what a-
preface to the podcast listeners, the building next to here a few years ago, a guy jumped off and his head got chopped off.
Yes.
Yeah,
but
we
he
made-
still had a nice sandwich.
That's not really
here
something
at
you talk
West
about in
Bank
a grocery
Gourmet
store, man.
before
Yeah,
it
he
had
said,
don't
"Man,
talk-
I'm never
West
gonna
Bank
eat a
Gourmet."
sandwich this good again." He jumped. His note was actually just a menu.
Dude, whoever's sitting behind, whoever's
great.
in line behind that person's like, "I'm getting one of those fucking
Yeah.
sandwiches."
Right.
I'm not even
I
hungry.
will have a meatball.
Yeah, but what a great suicide, man.
The
thrill.
The way to
He
rap.
put
what
on a show
great-
for everybody.
Literally, and he had the radio. Like, there's actually transmission of his like final words.
Yeah, it was interesting. You know what? I was at my sister's house with her husband watching that. It was like it was a bonding experience.
What, the guy flying the plane? Or?
Yeah, we loved it. It was
Yeah.
like a show you'll never play
He
again.
tried spelling
So
out
theatrical.
sorry in the air.
Did he?
No.
Oh my God! How many years ago was this?
It's like
Few years ago.
I mean, the
It's gonna
guy
be-
was probably like lived his whole life as kind of like a nobody. You know what I
No,
mean?
but he wasn't old. He was like probably around my age.
Yeah, he was a younger
He
dude.
probably had a lot of student loans, to be honest.
But that was it. You know, it was like he lived his whole life, like kind of 30 years. No one knew who he was. And it's funny, not funny, but like these
Like
people
we're
you
just
see.
eulogizing him on the podcast.
No, but like you see,
now.
like it's
We
kind
don't
of
even know
funny,
his
like,
name.
someone-
Just like this guy.
Rest in peace. But you get like rich celebrities will go the way of like they'll very discreetly kill themselves. This was this guy's claim to fame. He was like, I'm going to go out with an absolute blaze of glory, and he flew a plane and killed himself.
Yeah, and it made it. He proved to everyone around the world that you could easily jack a plane.
Yeah.
If you just
It's
wait
more
it
attainable
out.
than you think. You know.
Still, post
yeah, like
9/11.
you can't steal a Baskin Robbins and kill yourself with it. That
No.
wouldn't be as cool.
Ugh.
No, but you could eat
How many
all the
years did
ice
you work
cream
at Baskin Robbins?
months before
you
he
imagine that?
threatened to fire me, so I quit.
Were you eating a lot of ice cream?
Yes.
Why didn't you
Yeah.
let them fire you?
Because I
Get
couldn't
unemployment,
face
you
it.
quit.
It would have really hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
So I wanted some control.
Yeah.
Was
I
it a
basically-
good firing or no?
What's that?
Oh, you quit. You didn't get fired.
I quit, but that
What
wasn't.
was your worst firing? Because you asked me about mine, which
Yeah.
leads me to believe
My
you had
worst
one.
firing, I mean, I want to say, okay, so it wasn't like, I guess this was the worst. I was working in LA at this architectural design firm as like a what are they called? Receptionist? I can't even think. I'm like, what is this job I'm so terrible at?
What was that thing I sat at? A desk?
Yeah, and by the way, like, I should have just known growing, like, I'm horrible at, you know, when you apply for jobs like this and they're like, we need someone who's detail oriented and like all of the things that you're not, but you have to lie because
Right,
you
of
need a
course.
job. And it's like, ugh, I'm not even the person that I'm showing up to pretend to
Yeah.
be. So yeah, I just sucked at this job. And this company, the way that they would fire people is they would pull you into the room, let you know you got fired, ask you back for your badge, and then they send like a company-wide email letting you know, like letting everyone know who got fired that day. So
Wow.
I've never seen anything like it, but it's like also for security, I guess, but it's so like every Friday, like we're all waiting for the email, you know,
Yeah.
to find out who got the axe. So eventually I got
It's
fired.
like The Survivor.
I was like kind of thrilled though, because I was like,
Right.
finally.
It's
How
like
many
the
people were actually getting fired though?
It was
Every
like a
week,
high
really?
turnover. I mean, it wasn't every Friday, but that's when they would do the firings. Is statistically they say people will kill themselves less if they get fired.
Did
on
you guys
Friday.
have like a pool going like over who's gonna get fired this week?
Well, there's always like suspicion about, oh, this person's definitely going to get fired soon. But like I wasn't well liked on the team anyways
Yeah.
because I just sucked at my job. And
I could never work at a place that establishes themselves as a team.
dude, I'm telling you,
Right.
that was most of my 20s was corporate jobs like that. I
the
worked so
worst.
many corporate
It's the
jobs
worst.
and I was so bad at them.
Yeah, they never like it when you call the boss coach.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Or
I-
when you show up late or like whenever you want and they have like an expectation of you to be there. I was never good at like like showing up on time. And they also turns out they like you to come to work sober, which is
Nah.
um,
That's,
Well,
that's a
that's
benefit of comedy.
yeah.
That's just too much. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
But meanwhile, I worked like the last corporate job I worked. I was definitely getting all of the employees high on company time, like every day.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Wow, morale is the highest it's ever been. Productivity is the lowest it's ever been.
Everything is high.
Wow, I wish like my dad gave me a real firing. I mean, I kind of just went from those jobs then right into comedy jobs.
Yeah,
I've been
'Cause I-
fired face to face.
yeah.
I don't
What
think
was that like?
I could do it and or receive it.
They
I
almost.
mean, what happened with yours?
I have a glorious fire story
Let's
that
hear
like
it.
that I don't think it was like kind of the last time I would. Well, no, I worked at regular jobs after that, but I used to work for this city called Los Alamitos. I was on the Parks and Rec,
Oh shit! Parks
and my
Rec.
my main job was I would paint soccer fields, like the lines and
Yeah.
everything. So
Already
I always
a fun
had somebody
job.
that was, and I was probably 17 years old. Yeah, I was probably 17 years old, and I had like you have a partner with you, and they're always like an older guy with a car, but you use the company truck as you carry all the paint and stuff in it. One day, he couldn't. While we were working, he's like, "Hey man, I gotta go somewhere after this. Could you drive?" And I was like, "I don't have my license." And he's like, "Whatever, dude. Can like just cover for me, man."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Yeah, okay, I got you." So like I did. And I don't have a driver's license, and I'm driving this company truck, and I got to go across town to paint multiple fields,
Yeah.
and I pull it off fine, right? On my way back, I know I'm done with work, and I just like, God, I don't know when the next time I'm gonna drive a car is, you
I
know?
know.
And I drive by a Burger King. I'm like, you know what? I gotta try one drive-through.
Oh no.
So I put my arm out the window. I'm really feeling it, you know. And I get something from Burger King, and then I go. I just it was like Pandora's box. Like I kind of did something like I shouldn't have done. So I wasn't ready to let go of this car. So where you go to park the car is where you also park cop cars. Behind it, there's a field and you have to paint, but it's like blocked behind a middle school. And behind that is the on-ramp to the freeway, the 605 freeway,
Yeah.
okay? So there's really no witnesses here, and I had just done the field. I know kind of how it is. I'm going to take this truck for a little spin around the field.
Oh,
No, you were just getting way too greedy.
I got my Burger King here, you know. I'm feeling good. I can blast the radio, whatever, and then I'll park it and whatever. I'm done with. I'm doing overtime right now.
Yeah, dude, you were
know?
like the definition of if you give a mouse a cookie. Like once you did one thing, you were like, all right, well, let's see if I could just drive through the mall without hitting
I am
anyone.
all
Let me
alone.
take this off road while eating.
Yeah.
He's doing donuts in the fucking van.
I am full
like eating a
blast.
cheeseburger.
I am
What's wrong with
the
you?
donut king. I am killing it. Just across the field. What's that game that they play on PC where you hit the ball into the?
Pong.
No, but you're in the car.
Oh,
Crazy
yeah,
Taxi?
yeah.
No,
Oh,
no.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. The cars that play soccer.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah.
soccer cars.
Soccer
yeah.
cars, yeah.
Whatever
What is
that is.
called?
I
Jet
don't know.
League. Jet League, maybe.
Something
I have
league.
no idea.
Rocket League.
Rocket something. We don't. This is
Whatever.
silly.
I'll know, you
Anyways,
can
you
tell
know
me
what
it's
I'm talking
anything.
about.
So-
Any-
so
but
yeah,
I was,
go ahead,
so I was
sorry.
doing that, and then I finished it. Whatever. And I go to park my car. I go to park the car, but first I gotta park in front of the place where you go park your car because I gotta unload the paint.
Yeah.
So when I go to unload the paint, actually, as I approach the curb, I hit the curb really hard and paint flies everywhere. Bing! Just like boom. I'm all the way at the end. Bing! Just paint, cement on the side of the truck. Like, and I mean, it was just, I couldn't even see out the back window. There's
Yeah.
paint. I had to like get out and look at the damage. So I do that, and behind me is a cop because that's where cops park their cars also.
Oh.
So the cop is like, "Is this your car?" And I was like, "No, it's just the company car." And we're going to like, "Is it supposed to have that much paint everywhere?" I was like, "Yeah." All right. Why don't you just wait here for a second? He goes and walks inside, and I just finish what I'm doing, and I leave, and I go
Yeah.
park the car, and then that's that. And the next day I'm working. And nobody's saying anything. I'm already out painting fields.
They
I've
already
got
got
my
the
partner
company-wide
there.
email.
I see my boss in the distance coming out. Like just he goes up to my partner first, who's older, and I see them talk. I don't know what they're talking about. And then my partner leaves.
Your partner's just pointing at you
just
the whole
leaves.
time.
He's just like puts his stuff away and leaves. Like he's done for the day. I'm like, what the fuck is? And it's just me, him, in that field. And he was like, You have a driver's license, right? And I was like, no. And he just puts his standing up. He just goes like this. He's just like hands on his knees, just hunched over, like physically like writhing, like no words yet. Just there's pain.
Yeah.
And he's like, was that you doing donuts? He's like, I was driving up the on ramp, and I see my truck flying around.
He saw it.
Yeah, and he's like, put your shit away. You're done. You're done.
You're like, for today or
You'll
for
never,
all the time?
All right,
you'll
so-
never donut in this town again.
Wait, were you
It's the last donut you ever make.
Were you tearing up the field that you
I
just
to-
painted?
No, because so there's like more room where I could do donuts.
Oh, okay.
There's
Wait,
two
did
big
your partner
fields.
like-
get fired?
What's that?
Did your partner get
No.
fired? Because it was kind
Yeah,
of his fault.
I didn't rat him out.
You
I
were
just
doing what
Why did he
he
get
told
sent
I
home
was
for the
waiting
day?
for him to ask about him, and I would have ratted him out because. Yeah, I mean that's how I got the truck. If it's not, it seems like I stole this truck. Like
Right.
some older guy did influence. Well, I'm not gonna say that till he
You're
says
like,
it.
listen,
and
sir,
he
I
didn't
actually
care.
did
Did the right
stitches.
thing.
He was like, I was already fired the second I did donuts. Like the donuts alone. When he
Yeah.
saw the donuts, he didn't need to know how I got there. It was like, you're done.
So the painting was literally just the icing on the donut.
Yeah.
when he got
Oh,
out
and then
there.
there's so much paint on the truck, and I was just done. But
one time, what happened, babe?
well, no, I'm just him when he first said I was getting on the on ramp, and I'm like,
What are the
no,
chances?
what are the chances?
See someone eating Burger King out of his window, driving like Ace Ventura doing donuts.
I was like, I hate
Blasting
when you
the
get,
wave.
I hate when
Smooth
you just
jazz.
get caught like just flat out.
Well,
like that.
I got caught. I had a job in college where someone thought it would be a good idea to give me responsibility in college over other college kids, which was whose judge
Yeah.
of character is that? So they had me do what like a RA, you know, a
Yeah, of course.
resident assistant or whatever,
Yeah.
and in exchange, if you're an RA, they'll get you get free room and board.
Right.
So like. Whatever. I was like flattered. Okay, cool. I get to live here for free and be in charge of other fuck ups.
Yeah.
Dope. So part of that was you can't I was under 21 and it was a dry campus. Like you weren't allowed to like drink on this campus because
Hell yeah.
for tons of
I went to
reasons.
a
It
dry
was a
campus
liberal
as
arts
well.
school in Vermont.
A lot
and,
of them
like,
are,
they,
yeah.
They just like didn't want there, but ironically there's a bar right across the street from the school. So it's like you can't
Problem
be drunk
solved.
here.
Yeah.
So I had like my girlfriends over and I think like my boyfriend just broke up with me and I'm currently an RA at this time and we had a dinner at the apartment and a bottle of wine. And so like I was chugging this bottle of wine and they took a picture because I'm like, I want to show my boyfriend that I'm having a good time. You know?
in my
And-
tiny
yeah,
dorm room.
and, like,
Yeah.
it's like me,
Dude, I gotta get
like,
back to her.
Chugging this bottle of wine and like my two friends sticking their tongue out. It's like literally not, and it's just not a great picture
Right.
overall
Just shows up
for my
soaking wet.
brand. And so it got posted on the internet, and then one of the other RAs, this guy, tattled on me.
Oh, what a
Oh.
And
douche.
I got fired, and so then that not only did I get fired, but the dean was like, okay, you need to take alcohol program classes or whatever, which I never did
Alcohol
because I never
EDU.
had a problem
Yeah.
with alcohol. But I still got my diploma.
Wow.
So
I love living in a world where your ex-boyfriend sees that and he's like, fuck,
yeah,
I gotta get back with
yeah,
her.
she's having a great time without me.
Yeah. And
Is that a
wine?
bottle and her friends' tongues are out?
Yeah,
What?
like yeah.
All his
exactly.
friends are trying to stop him. No, I'm.
She never did this when we were together, you know.
One time, one of my early college agents in comedy fired me because I got caught drinking with the students, which I was 21 at the time and the students were 21, so I didn't feel weird about it. But it was the way I got caught because it was around the time of the mannequin challenge. Remember that? Everyone
Yeah.
was making
Yeah.
the videos of the still videos.
Yeah.
And after the show, one of the students invites me to go to a party and drink with them. So I'm like, hell yeah. So we do the mannequin challenge, and I'm literally in the video holding a girl up by the legs doing a keg stand. And my college agent was like, you didn't drink with the students, and then shows me the mannequin challenge video. And here I am just holding the girl above the keg.
Yeah, right.
And I was
Dude.
like, so I'm guessing we're not working together anymore, huh? They're like, we can't. We're sorry.
What if you
It's-
just with absolute confidence been like, wow, that guy looks a lot like me?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Is
No,
like,
I was helping her down.
Our
Yeah.
parents.
I was putting an end
yeah,
from there.
I was giving
Yeah.
a talk about how alcohol is
Yeah, I
harmful
was-
to her.
Yeah, I was putting an end to it.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of Dare? But like, you know, our parents just never like. I mean, you would have to have like an actual photograph. Like, we're all so subject to like. I've gotten in trouble so much on social media, just like from pictures I've
Right.
posted or like things that I've said.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, ugh, you know.
You're the one they always warned us about when they were
Yes.
like, oh, this will come back to bite
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
It was you?
nothing like super
So-
bad. Oh yeah. Oh, I thought you were going for
Yeah,
the
me too.
Alfredo. I was
That's
like,
what I said.
Classico.
Good choice. Good choice.
But yeah, so I don't know. I just like I forgot what I was really. I'm still.
What did you? What else have you? So you lost the RA job. Has
at that
Facebook
one,
ever?
What else? Oh yeah, I've just like things that I've said on social media. Nothing like earth shattering, but more just like I'm hyper aware of how that shit
Yeah.
can come. Like I haven't
gets
like
in
gotten
trouble.
super fired or anything from it, but people are paying
I
attention.
couldn't imagine
Yeah.
having to, like, the way social media is now, having to maintain like these comics who sometimes have a real job now.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you separate one or the other? It's so
Well,
impossible.
You have to not give a fuck and realize like you're gonna upset people that you actually like. Like I had a friend that messaged me the other day about one of my jokes, and I work with this I love this person, and I value her and whatever, but she got upset over my pronoun joke. I said my preferred pronoun is stoner, and she was offended by that, and so I had to be like, look, I
do
I
identify
don't-
as this.
I mean, I was like, yes, and I'm part of me is realizing like I'm not gonna please everyone, and
Yeah.
I'm okay with that, and I love you.
Yeah, I mean,
and what
you
were they kind of? Were they?
She was coming from a place of like, I'm just worried that the community is gonna come after you,
Right.
and I was
Okay.
like, come for me, I need the press. You know, like,
Yeah.
so, and it's like also anyone who genuinely knows me knows like I am a friend to the community. Like I love that the LGBTQ
Right.
whatever.
It is
you
weird
know.
when you actually upset someone that it's not just like a regular person online, when it's actually someone in your life and you're like, do I really need to think about this now because it's someone I actually respect who
Well,
said
I've been
it?
doing that.
Maybe
like,
it's not bad to like to reflect on if somebody was offended and that's a big deal enough to say something to you. Well, then give the thing a second. Give
Yeah.
it
No,
give
I
it give
do
it back
that.
some
There
It's
is
Well,
very
I
easy
did
to
what
go-
I did because I was like, okay, am I offending an entire community? So I went around and asking other members of that community. I'm like, does this offend you? Are you
Yeah.
offended by this? Like, please let me know. I will take it down if it's like overall like. And they were like, no, this is hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, they can separate
Okay.
the humor out from like knowing that this is not making fun of the community, or at least they didn't take it
Yeah.
that way or whatever.
I think people forget how much care. Like a lot of comics do actually think when they write something, is this gonna offend someone?
Yeah.
And some people do actually give a shit. There are times where I've had people who I've respect who have said, come up to me like, "Hey, here's a reason why I didn't like that," and I've sat down and be like, "All right, I actually see it from your point of
Yeah.
view
Yeah.
now.
I think,
maybe
like-
that was a poor choice."
Right,
of words,
But
I-
Matt said, I think it's easy for a lot of people to just go on autopilot of like, no, I'm going to stand by what I say.
Yeah.
It's not horrible to do the alternative.
But that joke wasn't bad. The stoner.
Yeah,
one.
I mean, if there's, I'm always like willing to take a look at like. And
if I care
examine
about
it,
you,
know?
if I
Yeah.
really truly care about you, I'm gonna try to see it your way.
yeah.
And in that, that just doing. I mean, to me, that just relating to the thing that I'm either disagreeing with or not considering,
Right.
or I don't even
Yeah.
believe in. You know
Right.
what I mean, that's as much as I'm going to give. Whether or not I'm going to continue to post or speak that way is like I'll figure that out
right.
after this. But if it is so,
Yeah. Well, I think
I'm
it's
at peace with it. I'm at peace with you being mad about this thing. I don't think is a big deal.
Yeah. Well, I think it's important that I tell you you've offended me multiple times in the podcast, and I'm not going to tell you how. I want you to reflect on that. And I want you to come to me with, "No, you're wonderful."
We'll see
I have
you.
kind of ripped up some of your guys' products.
Yeah.
yeah.
I was just
I'm part of the Spaghetti-O fortune.
I want some of
Yeah.
these boner pills right here.
boner.
I feel like this is
This
something
Max whatever,
Joe
like-
Rogan would
Oh.
eat.
yeah. It's just.
Yeah.
Does
Actually,
Rogan know about this?
when you
Yeah.
open the lid, it's his face on the inside.
Max meat.
Yeah, it's Max
it's
Meat.
also a grinder for weed.
Yeah. And it's brought to you by On It. I think this has been a good episode. Yeah.
I had a blast. You guys are wonderful. This was so much fun.
Thanks
I'm glad you
for
both.
having us
I'm
here.
glad
Thank you
both
guys
could
for
come.
Yeah.
joining us in the aisle.
Thanks for we walked down this aisle.
And we've spilled in this aisle.
We've yes.
Wow,
Yeah.
that would have been another good name if it was like a really deep podcast. It could have been Spills in the Aisle.
Yeah.
Shit,
Clean
man.
up in aisle.
Yeah.
Matt
Up
comes
and
in
out.
every
If anyone
episode,
wants
spills
to-
a little, and then leaves.
If anyone wants to rent podcast space, we have 2 other aisles available.
Get 3 going at the
I
same
love
time.
this. I
You
love
should
this.
do
venue.
a double dare thing where you spill something on your
We've actually considered podcasting through the aisles, like bringing in a band and having 2 sit here and then the other one's over there, and
Well.
podcasting through the aisle.
Yeah.
But where websites you guys want to plug? This isn't coming out till a while, so just
Okay.
plug
Is this
websites.
even coming out?
No, it isn't. But we still liked having you.
In a little while.
So-
Do you buy this here?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
actually in the back shelf. The podcast. It's only available in stores.
It's at the last remaining Blockbuster.
Aw, I love it.
Callback.
R.I.P.
Wow, that's how you end a podcast right there.
Yeah.
Give us some plugs if there's anything you guys want to plug.
Well, you can follow me at Wolfie Comedy, at Wolfie Memes if you like weed humor. I have my podcast, Chronic Relief Pod, which is all about comedy, weed, and mental health.
Yeah.
And also, we, Matt and I have a podcast coming out called Got You Babe Pod,
Hell yeah.
where we're going to be hanging out with some couples that we admire and look up to.
That work together.
Power couples.
Oh, hell
You
yeah.
like power couples.
Hell yeah.
So check out that. That's coming
Hell
up.
yeah.
Go ahead, Matt.
So, I mean, I know this comes out. I would be telling you to go to my album recording on the 4th at the New York Comedy Club in Gramercy, but you're an asshole and you're lazy.
So you can tell them to listen to the album.
Listen
when
to
it
the
comes
album
out.
when it comes out, and you'll find it everywhere. Pandora, Spotify. I mean,
The other places. Yeah. Well,
Awesome.
thanks for
Yep.
joining us,
Where can
guys.
they follow you, babe?
Oh, at Mat Edgar. Matt has 1 T in it because my mom misspelled it. Okay, I'm not trying to be some hipster.
Right.
It's okay. My parents named me Dan Joe. That's a very too bad back to
Damn.
back. Dan Joe.
God, even if your parents weren't, you'd come out white.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they never said the name out loud.
Why is your Instagram handle not Dangelina Jolie?
Oh.
Wow. I never even thought
Damn,
Angelina
time to start
Jolie.
over.
about that. Maybe
Yeah.
by the time this comes out, you could follow me at
Dangelina
Dangelina
Jolie.
Damn.
All right,
All right,
bye
thanks, guys. Bye.
guys.